Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about A Contact High, A Visual History of Hip Hop by Vikki Tobak. So inside this book there's 33 years of hip hop history, famous artists and the most influential in the genre. So those 33 years are from 1979 at hip hop's humble origins all the way up to 2012. So it's not up to current day, but it is still a good read, still worth your money, and still worth picking up if you get the chance. So the front and back covers instantly give you a heads up for what you're in for. So the front of the book is adorned in various contact sheets of different artists throughout the book. The back of the book is a full size print of 50 Cent's back when he was getting tattooed, and that big piece he has on his back, and that's just a glimpse into what some of the book will be like. And one of the main reasons I like this book before we get into it is it gives you the insight into how different photographers work on different shoots with different artists, and how you can see their ideas develop throughout the whole contact sheet and where it's going and how it ebbs and flows and ends up in the end. But saying all that, let's get into the book. So the first page I want to go to is page 63, which is EPMD's Unfinished Business cover shoot. So first, straight off the bat, you'll see that all the photos here have amazing complementing colours between the blues, the greys, the white and the black. Just everything works. Even the onset of the gold on the rims, that works in the shot. This was shot at 3 PM in winter in Long Island, so the sun was already going down, and then just that accent on the shot makes it even better. So the location and the clothing was chosen by EPMD, so they'd already chose to turn up in matching bucket hats, tracksuits, shoes, planned ready for this shoot, which gives you an insight into EPMD knowing exactly what they wanted to do, and exactly how they would have liked it. It was just about the photographer translating that and their vision to the film itself. So as it goes on, you see it develop the idea from the photographer's standpoint and their standpoint. That being said, the actual cover photo used isn't in the book itself, so I will post that in this video now. But yeah, for whatever reason that one's not included, even though that was the chosen cover. Everything in these sets of photos screams late 80s, early 90s hip hop, and you can't help but love it. It's the big chains, the big rings, the serious expression, everything matching, the tracksuits, everything big, bulky. What's not to love? So the next set of images I want to go to is on page 115, which is Big L's Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous promo shoot. So what I love about these photos is that he is solely the main focus of this, no one but him. And Danny Clinch wanted to go back to where Big L grew up in Harlem to shoot this, to show where he came from for Big L's first studio album, and to really translate this is what shaped this album. And having Big L in these photos stand up, stand tall with everyone else from the neighbourhood, his friends and whoever else sat around him, the motion blur sets off that he is the main focus of these photos. And the fact you can see in the contact sheets he was originally sat down in these, but the fact to stand him up more, or to stand him up rather, will stand him out more and further, just elevates that photo further in my opinion. Although you could read into it as well, into the photo, that the serious expression on his face looks somewhat sad, and you could even say that some of the fame and the adoration he gets off others isn't gonna make him happy, isn't really what he's looking for, that it's making everyone else around him happy but him. The next set of images I want to go on to is page 181, an image which everyone should know and everyone should recognise, one of the most highly recognised, if not the most recognised photo. Biggie Smalls, King of New York, shot by Baron Claiborne. There's not much you can't say about this image. Like, it is iconic. Even if you were to search up Biggie Smalls, this would be one of the first images that comes up. It is Biggie, red background, crown on, chain on, looking like he owns the world. The stylised colours with the red and the gold come through, make him look more regal, like he is that king that he is trying to be portrayed to be in this photo. Now, I don't know how much of the colours was the film itself, as the film was cross-processed, as said by Danny in his interview in here. The idea was to shoot Biggie as the king of New York, the king of the hip-hop scene in New York, and the king that Baron saw him as. He even says, every time I thought of Biggie, I always thought of him as a big West African king. And he wanted to put that forward, and he had that idea. And the person who helped bring that idea forward, other than just Baron and Biggie, was, funnily enough, the fashion king himself, Groovy Lou. And if you know about some hip-hop history, you know Groovy Lou is responsible for a lot of people's outfits throughout hip-hop throughout the years. A lot of people. A lot of Bad Boy, Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, to name a few. And that's another thing that's offset these photos in here, that the correct choice was made from the photographer's vision and Groovy Lou coming together to style Biggie to Biggie's expressions in these photos. Couldn't have been more of a working formula if you wanted it to be. Although, as you can see in these photos, not every one of these photos is a serious shot. You've got the heavy stylisation, you've got photos of Biggie smiling, laughing, putting different faces at the camera. You've got some obviously fish-eyed shots in these with Biggie's shrunken head in 3 of the photos. It just shows the process and trial and error of both the subject and the photographer coming together to work through a shoot to get the best outcome for both the artist, the photographer, and the project moving forward. So if this one's the most iconic image in hip-hop history, we're going to go on to probably the second most recognised image now, which is page 241. MF Doom and Madlib's Mad Villainy. And you're greeted with, obviously, the contact sheet of the shoot, but you're greeted with the black and white Mad Villainy image. Less contrast, it must be said, in this book compared to the actual photo artwork, but you're greeted with that iconic photo that anyone who's taken 2 seconds to listen to Doom or look up Doom will know. However, if you look on the left of that photo, you've got a full-size contact sheet, 16 shots, I believe 645. And what stood out to me first was that the shots were in colour and not in black and white, that the album colour would lead you to believe, because the whole time I thought this was shot on black and white, whereas it's actually shot on Portra 400 NC. So that, seeing the bright colours stand out and the soft skin tones stand out, really puts forward that sometimes the best outcome isn't what you've got on the day, but what you make of those. Not everything is going to be serious with Doom. Many Doom songs are far from serious themselves. But that being said, the man knows what he wants to do with his image and his character that he's portraying, and he does that very well. That being said, with this set of images, it's the book itself I do take one issue with, and for some reason they haven't spelt Doom in all caps. I don't quite know why they've not done this, but as the man once said, and that is what should be done. There wasn't many photos of Doom in the hip-hop hemisphere in general, due to him being a secretive guy, and a lot of people saw it as the mask. I mean, that's why there was so many Doom impersonators at Doom live shows. The man was a mystery. But being able to take these photos of Doom and present him in a way that is still the man behind the mask brings a whole different meaning of things to these sets of photos. Now, the last one I'd like to go on to is page 273, which is Gucci Mane on the set of the Shooters video. So these are by Cam Kirk. These are the only set out of the ones I've chosen that aren't on film. These were shot on a digital camera, but it does not mean that they are any less of a photo for not having a real life physical contact sheet per se. Although this was a digital camera, these still have a very cinematic look to them. They look like they could be stills out of a film, or in this case a music video as it is. But I mean, Gucci Mane clearly knows how to handle himself in front of a camera. He knows how to have fun with it, as these photos they show you behind the scenes and him laughing and pulling faces in some shots, aiming the prop guns around. But it just shows that sometimes your greatest asset is the person themselves having their photo taken. Your subject is your greatest asset, and in this case it works. That being said, the other thing that makes these images stand out is, for a start, one of them was chosen as the cover of Trap House 3 by Gucci Mane. He did make one of them the cover for that, but then not long after that album's release, he actually caught a federal gun charge and pled guilty, and that's what led to him going away. So this was sort of the end of one chapter of Gucci Mane to lead into the next. But yeah, that was all the photos I wanted to get to. If you like this video, guys, like, comment and subscribe. If you have this book, let me know in the comments your favourites, what you choose, what you always go back to, and what you've learnt from it. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. Other than that, peace.